You know, we're all making this silent trade every single day of our lives. It's a deal that's so subtle, we barely even notice we're making it. But it quietly, powerfully shapes the entire course of our lives. So today, we're gonna pull it out into the light. We're gonna give it a name, the comfort trade.
See, this isn't about some big, dramatic moment of giving up. It's not a single event. It's exactly like this quote says, a quiet surrender. It's the slow drip of tiny little choices that we make, day after day. They're so small, so quiet, we don't even see them happening. And this series of quiet surrenders, well, it adds up to something huge. We can call it the invisible deal. It's this daily transaction where we trade away pieces of who we could be just for the ease of what is right now.
I mean, just think about how it plays out. Literally from the moment you wake up, you hit snooze. Not because you're lazy, but because you're just exhausted from living a life that maybe doesn't quite fit. You grab your phone and you trade those first precious moments of focus for a mindless scroll. You say yes to plans you want to say no to, all to avoid a tiny bit of friction. We tell ourselves we're just getting by, surviving. But are we? Really?
This isn't some new idea. The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer was all over this centuries ago. He had this incredible line: a person can do what they will, but not will what they will. What does that even mean? Well, basically, we can act on our desires, sure, but we often don't get to choose the desires themselves. They're just reactions. We think we're choosing to chill on the couch, but are we? Or are we just reacting to the pain of doing something that's, harder?
So this is the absolute core of it all. What we call the pursuit of happiness is for most of us actually something else entirely. It's an escape. We're not really moving toward joy, we're just desperately running away from the feeling of discomfort.
But here's the thing. This constant running, this desperate escape from anything that feels uncomfortable, it isn't free. Oh no, there is a price, a big one. So now let's get real and look at the real cost of comfort. What we are actually giving up for just a fleeting moment of ease.
Let's really break this trade down. When you make that easy choice, the distraction, the numbing out, what's on the other side of that deal? What's the real currency you're paying with?
The currency is steep, and it comes in 4 big chunks. First, we trade our time, the only resource we literally can't not get more of, for hours of just screen-induced numbness. Second, we trade our truth. We silence that little voice inside for a fragile peace in rooms that just drain our soul. Third, we trade our future self, sacrificing our potential for the anesthesia of right now. And maybe the most painful one, we trade our self-worth for the fleeting, empty approval of other people. Comfort has this little voice, right? And it whispers these very specific lies to us. It says, it's just this once. But the truth is, every single yes to comfort is a no to your growth. It promises, you'll start tomorrow. But we all know tomorrow is where potential goes to die. And the big one, everyone's doing it. But you are not everyone. Your path is your own.
Let me just paint you a picture. Imagine a child who just loved to draw. They could lose hours totally lost in their imagination. But then life happened. People told them drawing wasn't practical, that it wouldn't pay the bills, and the discomfort of defying those expectations, it just felt like too much. So they stopped. And now they're an adult. They have a stable job, a nice car, and this deep, silent ache that something vital, something essential is missing. See, the trade wasn't just giving up a hobby, it was giving up a piece of their soul.
Okay, but look, this isn't about feeling bad or ashamed for the trades we made. Not at all. This is about waking up. So let's flip this entire idea on its head. What if discomfort isn't the enemy? What if it's actually your hidden compass, pointing you exactly where you need to go? It's time we learned how to read the signs.
This, right here, is probably the most important shift in perspective we can make. Discomfort is not a problem to be solved. It's not some threat to run away from. It's data. It's a signpost pointing directly at what needs to change in your life. It is the very first sign that you are starting to wake up.
I mean, think about what these feelings are really trying to tell you. That feeling of boredom? That's your compass screaming that you've outgrown your current situation. That social fatigue you feel after hanging out with certain people? That's a clear signal that you're just done. You're done shrinking yourself to fit in and be liked. These feelings aren't the problem. They are the message.
And if you think this is just some nice philosophical idea, listen to this. The stakes could not be higher. There was a palliative care nurse who spent years with people in their final moments, and she documented their biggest regrets. The most common one, by a mile, wasn't about money or missed vacations. It was this: I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That, right there, that is the ultimate price of the comfort trade.
So if discomfort is our compass, how in the world do we actually learn to read it and follow it? Well, that's where we get to what I call the practice of staying. This is all about building the emotional muscle to face discomfort head-on, not run away from it.
Now here's the fundamental shift. The goal is not to constantly feel better. The real goal is to get better at feeling, to develop the ability to just sit with the hard stuff, the boredom, the failure, the rejection, the loneliness, and not immediately dive for an escape hatch. That, right there, that's real strength.
All right, so here's a super simple, practical tool you can use. Let's call it the reversal frame. The next time you feel that pull, that urge for a distraction, just try these 3 steps. 1, notice it. Just acknowledge the urge without any judgment. 2, pause, just for a second. Create a tiny bit of space between the feeling and your automatic reaction. And 3, ask yourself this one simple question: what choice will my future self thank me for a year from now? That question alone can change everything, because it shifts your focus from short-term relief to long-term power.
And when you start doing this, your whole idea of peace just transforms. See, true peace isn't some calm, perfect place where nothing ever goes wrong. It's not freedom from the storm. It's the practice of staying centered and steady in the middle of the storm. It's about mastery within the chaos.
This brings us to the final and most important piece of the puzzle, your powerful choice. Because reclaiming your life, it doesn't happen in some grand gesture. It happens one small, conscious, and often uncomfortable decision at a time. I want you to think of it like this: that uncomfortable feeling, that internal friction, it's like a fire, and its purpose isn't to destroy you, not at all. It's there to purify you. It's there to burn away all the layers of expectations and fear, to burn away everything that isn't truly authentically you.
So, the final takeaway, the one thing I hope you really walk away with is this: that pain you feel sometimes, it's not a punishment for doing something wrong. It's permission. It's permission to change, to grow, to finally become the person you were always meant to be. So the only question left is, what uncomfortable action will you choose to take today?